Okay, so have you ever, had that weird feeling like a sudden flash where it feels like, wait a minute, I've been here before, done this before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's deja vu, right? It's super common, and almost everyone has experienced it at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, it's deja vu. And, well, we all know the feeling. But here's a thought. What if it's not just some random brain glitch?
Hmm, interesting.
What if it's like a sign of something much, much bigger? Like maybe a hint that our reality is, I don't know, a little more fragile than we think.
Now, that's a fascinating idea. Really makes you think, huh?
So that's kind of what we're going to dive into today. We're looking at this thought experiment called Project Deja Vu.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Project Deja Vu. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's basically this narrative built around the whole concept of government research, serious research into what they call temporal anomalies, things that mess with time.
Ooh, I see. So we're getting into some theoretical territory here. Love it.
Right, and I think using a narrative like this is a really good way to explore those ideas, the what ifs.
Absolutely. It's a more engaging way to think about complex concepts. It helps us understand the potential implications.
So imagine this. It's 2035, the future. And the government, believe it or not, has actually created this whole department, the Department of Temporal Anomalies.
Wow, okay. A whole government department dedicated to time anomalies. That says something right there.
Right, the DTA kind of sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but bear with me.
Yeah, definitely. It sets the stage for some really interesting possibilities.
So what's their mission, their big goal? They want to figure out once and for all what's really behind deja vu.
Ah, so they're taking it seriously then, not just dismissing it as a brain quirk.
Exactly. Is it just neurons misfiring, or could there be something more to it, something related to, time itself?
Okay, so how do they go about investigating that?
Well, this is where it gets even wilder. They start experimenting with, get this, quantum resonance frequencies.
Whoa, hold on. Quantum resonance frequencies. That sounds pretty high tech.
Yeah, it's way out there. The idea is that maybe they can use these frequencies to, like, interact with brain waves in a specific way.
Interesting. So how does that relate to deja vu?
Well, they think it might allow them to access what they call parallel memories, basically knowledge or experiences from other versions of ourselves, in alternate realities.
Whoa. Okay, so we're talking about multiple realities now. This is getting really complex.
I know, right? It's mind-blowing. But think of it like, I don't know, like downloading experiences you never actually had in this reality.
I see. Like tapping into another version of yourself almost.
Exactly. But then things take this totally unexpected turn.
Oh, what happens?
One of the physicists working on the project, Dr. Tessa Mori, she starts having these really strange experiences. It's not just the feeling of deja vu anymore.
Uh-oh. What kind of experiences?
She starts actually reliving events, like full-on reliving them, not just a quick flash of familiarity.
Wow, that's intense. So she's like going back in time, in a sense?
Kinda, but it's not like a perfect rerun. She describes it as being stuck on repeat, but each time there are these tiny, tiny variations.
So like she's making a different choice, and the world kind of rewinds and plays out slightly differently.
Exactly. It's like she's stuck in this loop, but the outcomes keep shifting slightly.
That's wild. It's like the idea of branching timelines, like in some sci-fi stories.
Right. It's as if each choice creates a new branch of reality. So at first, the DTA team, they're all excited. They're like, we've cracked the code of deja vu. Think of the possibilities.
Yeah, I could see why they'd be excited. Imagine being able to access knowledge from different realities, right? It would be groundbreaking.
Totally. But then things start to get really glitchy.
Glitchy. Like how?
It starts with Dr. Mori, but it's not just in her head anymore. Reality itself starts to, like, hiccup.
Whoa, hold on. What do you mean by hiccup?
Think like TV broadcasts getting stuck in these weird loops, clocks jumping backwards, people reporting entire days repeating. It's like the whole universe is having a giant deja vu moment.
Okay, that's more than just a glitch. That sounds like some serious temporal instability, right?
Big time. And then it gets worse. Reports start flooding in from all over the world. Mass deja vu events where entire towns are reliving the same moments over and over. There are even reports of, like, stars disappearing and reappearing. It's crazy.
So it's escalating, becoming a global phenomenon. Like the experiment has, I don't know, destabilized the fabric of reality or something.
And that's when Dr. Mori has this terrifying realization. Their experiment, it hasn't just unlocked the feeling of deja vu, it's actually broken time itself.
Oh, wow. So they didn't just open the door, they smashed it down.
Right, and now they've created these little loops, these cracks in time, and realities are bleeding into each other. It's a mess.
Okay, so what happens then? Do they try to fix it?
Of course they do. I mean, what else can they do? But as you can imagine, things just get more complicated.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes in these situations, right? The more you try to fix it, the worse it gets.
Exactly. So the deja vu experiences, they become more intense for people, not just a fleeting feeling anymore. People are seeing themselves making choices they have no memory of, feeling like they've lived entire days that haven't happened yet.
Okay, that's just messing with people's heads, their sense of identity, their whole understanding of reality.
And it's not just a personal memory issue anymore. People are running into strangers who feel weirdly familiar, acting like they know them intimately. It's like this temporal contamination.
Temporal contamination, wow, that's a creepy term. What does that even mean?
It's like this broken timeline is spreading from person to person like a virus.
So interacting with someone who's experiencing these temporal anomalies can somehow affect you too.
There's this classified report in the narrative, and it says that this phenomenon spreads through something called cognitive resonance.
Cognitive resonance, okay, that's a new one.
It means that people experiencing deja vu, they actually become carriers, triggering these loops in others just by interacting with them.
Oh, wow, so it's like a chain reaction spreading through contact, through shared consciousness.
And the report even warns that, get this, reality itself might become irreparably fragmented.
Yikes. So the stakes are getting pretty high. Existential threat level, maybe?
For sure. So the DTA, they decide they have to do something drastic. They come up with this plan, the reset protocol.
The reset protocol sounds ominous.
It is. The idea is to basically collapse all these fractured timelines back into what they believe is the most stable version, erase all the deviations, all the glitches.
So like hitting the reset button on reality? Wow, bold move. But, I mean, if reality is on the verge of collapse.
Right. But here's the thing. Dr. Mori, remember her. She's completely against it.
Really? Why? I mean, it sounds like the world is falling apart.
She argues that this messed up reality, as broken as it might seem, has actually created a richer, more diverse world.
Okay, I'm listening. Explain that a little more.
She says that by allowing these different timelines to merge, it's brought in all these unique possibilities, new ideas, new experiences.
Interesting. So she sees it as a kind of evolution, maybe, an expansion of what's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And she asks these really tough questions like, if we reset everything, are we going to lose parts of ourselves, the memories that make us who we are?
Those are big questions, yeah. Like, what defines our identity if we start erasing parts of our past, even if they're from these alternate timelines?
Right. It makes you think about the value of experience, even if it's messy or chaotic.
Absolutely. And what about those who have benefited from these new possibilities? Are their experiences less valid just because they arose from temporal anomalies?
Exactly. But of course, the government, they're not exactly known for listening to dissenting voices, especially when they think the whole world is at stake.
Yeah, that's a classic dilemma. Individual rights versus the perceived needs of the many, especially in a crisis situation.
So they go ahead with the reset.
And what happens? Does it work?
Most of the loops collapse, yeah. Time stabilizes mostly, but guess what? Some glitches remain, that familiar feeling that haven't I done this before? Some people still experience deja vu. It's like an echo from those fractured timelines.
So even resetting reality can't completely erase the effects of these temporal anomalies. That's a little unsettling, like the damage is somehow woven into the fabric of things now.
Totally. And as for Dr. Mori, well, she pulls this crazy move.
What did she do?
In a last act of defiance, she isolates herself in a temporal bubble so she doesn't get reset.
A temporal bubble. So she's like outside of the reset reality now.
Yeah. While the world outside moves on, she's stuck replaying her final days in this little looped pocket dimension. And she knows exactly has been lost, what's been erased.
Wow, that's a powerful image, Like a monument to the cost of trying to control something as powerful as time.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, this whole Project Deja Vu narrative. It takes something we all experience, this weird feeling, and turns it into something so much bigger.
It definitely makes you reconsider those moments of deja vu, doesn't it? Like, what if it's not just your brain miswriting, but a glimpse into another possibility?
And what if our reality is already, subtly fractured in ways we don't even realize?
Right, like maybe those little inconsistencies we all experience, those memories that don't quite add up, or that feeling of recognizing a place you've never been, maybe those are echoes from other timelines bleeding through.
And here's the big question. If you had the power to reset time, to fix something major, would you risk losing your own memories, the things that make you, you?
That's a tough one. Like, how much are we willing to sacrifice for the sake of stability, or even for a supposed better outcome? What if that stability comes at the cost of our individuality, our unique experiences?
It's a huge dilemma, and Project Deja Vu doesn't give us easy answers. So next time you have that weird deja vu feeling, maybe you'll think about it a little differently. Could it be a tiny crack in the timeline, a little echo from a road not taken?
Yeah, maybe it's not just a random brain blip, but a hint of something much more profound. It definitely makes the world a bit more mysterious and maybe even a little bit more magical.
Now, if you're interested in exploring some of the real-world concepts that inspired this story, there are some fascinating rabbit holes to go down, like quantum superposition, for example.
Ah, yes, quantum superposition, the idea that a system can exist in multiple states at once, right?
Exactly. It's like the foundation for the whole idea of branching timelines. Then there's the Mandela effect. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Those shared false memories, like people remembering something a certain way, but it turns out it was never that way at all.
Right. It makes you wonder, what if there are different versions of the past coexisting in our minds somehow?
It's a fascinating idea, and it plays with the whole concept of collective memory and how it can be so easily influenced and even distorted.
And for those who like a little more science, you could look into the link between deja vu and the temporal lobe of the brain. That's the area associated with memory and familiarity, and there's actually some good research there.
Yeah, neuroscience offers some very interesting insights into how the brain works, and it helps explain why we might experience deja vu as a natural neurological phenomenon.
And then, if you really want to get mind blown, there's the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics.
Ah, yes, the many worlds interpretation. That one's a real head scratcher.
It's the idea that every time a quantum measurement is made, the universe splits into multiple branches, each with a different outcome.
So we're talking about a multiverse, basically. Infinite possibilities playing out in parallel universes. It's pretty wild stuff. But it gives you a framework for thinking about how different versions of reality could actually exist.
Right, and we can't forget about the theoretical physics of causality violations and time travel, the stuff that really challenges how we understand cause and effect and the flow of time.
Yeah, those are the real mind benders. But they're important because they push the boundaries of our current understanding and force us to ask some really fundamental questions about the nature of reality.
So here's one last thought to leave you with. What if every time you experience deja vu, it's not just a quirk of your brain, but a tiny ripple, an echo from one of those countless other realities trying to sync up with ours? What if reality is actually a lot more fluid and interconnected than we think?
That's a beautiful way to put it. It really opens up the imagination, doesn't it? And it gives a whole new meaning to that strange feeling of familiarity we call deja vu.
It definitely makes you wonder. And that's what we're all about here, right? Exploring the big questions, the mysteries that make us think, that keep us curious. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a fascinating conversation. Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, until next time, keep exploring those questions. Stay curious.